Wow, it is a great morning already. It's the holy month of Ramadan, and we're here with our Muslim brothers and sisters on that one.
Yes, it's also a brand new day in a brand new week. All things are new, and we love starting out with you like this.
Yes, we do.
Nice and fresh
yes,
on a Monday morning.
Wow, all energetic. Now, we love that you chose to start your day with us. It means everything we do is for you.
As always, the lineup is nothing but what you deserve as we take on this new opportunities for this week.
Of course.
And, you know, those who are fasting are, of course, a little bit chill.
Mellow.
You know, a little bit mellow. So there'll be less trouble in Lagos generally. Less boxing.
Okay.
You know, everybody just, please don't touch me this morning. They're familiar.
All right, no problem.
So, yeah.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Ope. We're streaming live right now. tvcontinental.tv.
And of course on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. Please send in your comments. We love them. We love reading them every single day. All the social media platforms, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria.
And don't forget, we've said this, you know, every single day over the last month or so. Download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store and watch us on your mobile devices from anywhere in the world.
Yes, indeed. So I think we should tell them what we have planned, huh? We have Ifeanyi Chukwu Onoka, professionally known as Brainy, a rapper, singer, and songwriter. He's going to be here joining us for a musical performance very soon.
Brainy, super talented. Who wouldn't like to go to the Bahamas, right? So we are going to be taking you on a trip, and in 180 seconds, flat, checking out what Bahamas is like.
And right after that is yet another musical performance. It'll be coming from Terry, a fast-rising singer and performer.
So much talent, so much talent. Everyone needs a little motivation every once in a while to keep the dream alive. Author, speaker, and entrepreneur Rufai Oseni will be joining us on the show to build capacity for success. I like that.
Yes,
Building capacity for success this Monday.
Important.
Now get this, you should spend minimally on maintaining your car. And I, Oshofela, will be talking about identifying the correct automatic transmission fluid specification for your vehicle.
Very important. Then we have Nigerian-born gospel artist Paula Ashing. Now she'll be joining us on the show today as a special guest.
And lastly, we're going to be having Michael Eagle, also known as Cocopreneur, the CEO of McNicky Foods, the SME series for this week. You know, guys are doing so many different things with coconuts now. It's just absolutely amazing.
McNicky Foods. Oh, wow. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur in Nigeria.
Amazing. You know what I discovered? I met a lady who does like end-to-end. So every single part of the coconut is used for something. Every single part. So the coconut milk, the husk, everything. So even the shell. So what she did, which I thought was remarkable, different from any other thing I'd seen, was that she, so the shell of the coconut, they then converted it to charcoal.
Charcoal?
So coconut, so it's called coconut charcoal. And it had this, it was shiny, it was different from the regular charcoal. And they said you can use it for your face and for cleaning up things.
Yeah,
so
but I know that
there was no part of it that was wasted.
Yeah, I heard that they use that charcoal for teeth as well, for teeth whitening.
Oh, wow.
Mary, you sold something for teeth whitening to me.
Yes.
And it was cocoa something.
Yeah.
And I guess it was from coconuts.
So end to end, so no part of a coconut should be wasted.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
The most important part for most of us is where you chew. So. And then, of course, the milk.
Of course. But
so anyway, it's you were going to say something.
Yeah, so when it comes to doing business in Nigeria, though, I know a lot of people have challenges with power, you know, and the truth is to get it to a certain, for instance, the coconut, from beginning to end, there are definitely going to be machines involved, packaging, you know, even grinding and blending and all that.
True.
So in the end, they still have those challenges. Even though the raw materials are there just needs to be that one thing, that power.
So, you know, one of the things that I noted that entrepreneurs also do in Nigeria is that as much as possible, they try to do things manually.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
So like even when these plantain chips people started, you know, some 10, 12 years ago, they try to do it as manually as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, once you start spending money on petrol or diesel or anything like that, you're not going to break even because of the volume. So somebody who owns a small business, like a Mary, for instance, maybe you have one assistant or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're paying your assistants, right? So at the end of the day, what you want to do is you're only supplying maybe 100 or 200 to a store. So unless you're doing 10,000 or 20,000, you can't break even if you're using diesel.
Yes.
Wow.
And you know
So
that's
you
the
have to
problem
do-
with
Wow.
new businesses. You should always remember that you don't need to have all the big machines initially.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that you can start small. Most people, when they have the money, they just want to buy like 20 big machines. It's unreasonable and it's going to be a waste at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was something someone was telling me about going to buy some, equipment. And when she got there, the person selling it to her was asking her that, okay, so what's the capacity of what you're producing right now? And the person says, you know what, go for this. And she's like, no, it's too small. And she's like, that's your capacity now. Wow. But you know this Nigerian thing of we want to do it big, that, okay, what if we expand later? But while you're using the big machines, you end up spending more.
So very true. Anyway, so today Ramadan starts. The moon was seen over the weekend.
Yeah.
And all our Muslim brothers and sisters and viewers from all around Nigeria and the world, we wish you a happy
month of
Ramadan. And also
Ramadan
Ramadan
Kareem, actually.
Ramadan Kareem,
Yeah.
yes. Exactly. So yeah, that's...
So the fast begins today. If Mr.
And
Musa
next 30 days.
and Halima,
yeah. A big shout out
they
to
won't
all
be
our
having
team members.
breakfast today. They already had their breakfast.
Oh,
so.
goodness me.
Yeah.
Those are some jabs below the belts for behind the scenes.
No.
But we have to go to the news now.
Ibrahim is on standby.
Thank you for joining us on the news. Good morning. The Islamic holy month of Ramadan starts today, Monday. The Sultan of Sokoto, who is the President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Saad Abubakar, says the crescent moon for the month has been sighted. With this, the next 30 days would be days of dawn to dusk fasting for Muslims. While it lasts, faithful are required to not only abstain from food, but also strive to give alms and engage in more acts of worship. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has sent greetings to the people of the country and Muslims in particular as they commence the month-long Ramadan fast. In a message on Sunday night following the news of the sighting of the lunar month of Ramadan, President Buhari called for the continued peace, progress and prosperity of the country. President Buhari, in his message, noted that Islam is a religion of peace that upholds the values, tolerance and mutual coexistence without a place for hatred and violence. He also urged Muslims to use the fasting period to build a relationship of friendship and harmony with fellow citizens of all the faiths. And President Muhammad Buhari is back in Nigeria. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina says the president's plane landed in Abuja on Sunday evening. He spent 10 days in the United Kingdom on a private visit, during which there were rumors he went for medical treatment. The presidency now wants the media platforms that reported that the president was ill to retract their stories and apologize to millions of Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora. Now, the Lagos Police Command has arrested 6 suspects in possession of poisonous cow skin at the Gondo area of the state. Senior correspondent Ivy Kano visited the area.
First-time visitor will think 9 College Road, Igondo, is another residence without imagining the magnitude of crime the police say is perpetrated inside. First thing that hits one on entry into the compound is the stench, but it appears the occupants of this house have gotten used to such. Situated right in the middle of the compound is the warehouse, where the police say cow skin, popularly called pomo, is processed with poisonous chemicals used in its preservation. This family with children carry on unaware of the dangers associated with inhaling such stench, but others say it's been hell.
It smells as if we are in the mortuary. I'm saying one day when the government will locate this place and wipe away this company. I don't know what they call it, whether company, whether factory, but it does not meant to live where people are staying, to have such a thing. This is meant in the bush, where people lives, where they train animal. That is where they can keep something of this nature.
It cannot even breathe, it cannot even stay. I don't understand me. So we try to complain. Even by the time we told the owner of the place that look at the kind of something that these people is brought here, she said that she did not know that that is the kind of something that they want to come and business they want to come and do here.
The premises also houses a church, and the pastor believes God was involved in the police intervention.
We fought over these things, but they wouldn't listen. Several times, these things here have been reported to the appropriate office, but it will look as if when people are sent here, they are settled, they go. We have been jubilating since morning. We are free from the smell and some other things we have been perceiving from that place. So I believe God have just done it for us by the intervention of the government.
Meanwhile, there's urgent need to evacuate the warehouse and also fumigate the compound to avoid an epidemic. Recall that the Lagos State government had raised alarm over reports of traders who deal in the sales of poisonous cow skins at odd hours in different locations in Ojo and Iba local government areas of the state. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
And outside Nigeria, at least 13 persons have also been killed in Afghanistan after a suicide bomber blew up his explosive-laden car. The suicide bomber detonated the vehicle at the entrance of the police headquarters in the northern city of Pule Khumri. This was before 8 attackers, armed with machine guns, rushed into the building, battling for hours with Afghan forces. The Taliban, which is seeking to restore strict Islamic rule and expel foreign forces from Afghanistan, has claimed responsibility for the attack. And at least 41 people have been killed after a Russian plane caught fire mid-air. The Aeroflot passenger plane had to make an emergency landing at Shemeretyevo Airport in Moscow. Many passengers then escaped via the plane's emergency slides that inflated after the hard landing. The plane, which had been flying from Moscow to Murmansk before turning back, had been carrying 78 passengers. It's unclear how many crew were on board, and the cause of the fire is not immediately known. Russian investigators have opened an investigation and are looking into whether the pilots breached air safety rules. And that's it on the news update. Next is weather update.
Yeah, okay, so let's start with the Daily Trust, shall we? It says here, patients decry high cost, poor services at teaching hospitals. Talking about some of the major challenges found in Sokoto, Kano, Jos, Abuja, Yola, and Maiduguri, and Uyo teaching hospitals, all the teaching hospitals there. It's a long list of issues that, well, major challenges they're facing. Now, it also says here, Nigeria uninhabitable for young people, says Onayekon. 9 years after Jonathan Saraki paid tribute to Yaradua, NCC harmonizes data with NIMC, verifies SIMs. Buhari returns from 10-day visit to UK. CP relocates to Daura over Magajin Gari's abduction. And then it also says here it's day one of Ramadan. And yeah, that's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
All right, let's check out The Guardian. Again, Boko Haram kills soldiers. Military confirms 5 deaths, falls attack on Borno village. And why Islamist sect is reclaiming lost territory. Well, and arrest APC mercenaries, thugs, PDP tells security agencies. Now, up here, we've got PDP alleges INEC wants Rivers Gober polls cancelled. And EU, Germany moved to grow Nigeria's non-oil sector. That's good news there. And gunmen kill 400-level student in commissioner's house. Abduct girl. Wow. Sultan, others urge prayer for Nigeria as Ramadan begins. We've got a photograph on the cover of The Guardian where the special advisor to the president, Femi Adesina, and the acting inspector general of police receiving the president at the airport in Abuja after his 10-day visit to the UK. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
We have The Punch up next. It says here, the state of public varsity libraries worrisome, says ASU president. If you visit the Kenneth Dike Library, you'll see the level of rot there. Power outage, workers running around for diesel, and a lot of other issues in his quote there. There's also a picture of a Russian-made Superjet 100 that caught fire mid-air and crash-landed outside Moscow on Sunday. It also says Ramadan, prices of tomato, pepper, rise by 60% in Lagos. Police arrest 6 for alleged sale of poisonous pomo in Lagos. UTME, 5 jailed for exam fraud, 123 others facing trial. And how to end godfatherism in Lagos, according to El Rufai. That should be an interesting read. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch.
All right, let's check out the Vanguard. How we survived bandits' attacks, says Katsina and Zamfara victims. Bandits killed all men, set our villages ablaze. And some other gory details there on the cover of the Vanguard. Umaru Yar'Adua, legendary visionary leader, says Jonathan and Atiku. NGE re-elects Egbemode as president. And Rivers, PDP alleges conspiracy at election tribunal. And Power Projects, Fashola names defaulting contractors. That's a good one. And Ramadan begins today, says the Sultan. Bad politicians behind Nigeria's insecurity, illegal migration, says Onaikon. And external borrowing will throw Nigeria into recession again, Anglican Church warns. And Methodist Synod declares Nigeria failed state. Wow. And a gunman abduct OAU lecturer in on Ife Ibadan Road. IGP has lost weight fighting banditry, says Buhari. Keeps mum on new cabinet. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
I think we still have time for the Daily Sun. It says, Army amnesty trade tackles over insecurity. Global body alleges brutality, forced conscription by military Boko Haram. Military bans use of motorcycles in Kano, Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, and others. Now that is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Motorcycles in all those states.
Wow.
It's
a major mode of transport for many of them.
Oh, goodness me. Okay, so it also says here, police arrest 6 with truckload of poisonous pomo in Lagos, impound preservation chemical. Officials of Operation Safe Haven distributing food to children and women during their visit to Jos North, Plateau State, first time after peaceful elections in the communities. That's the image you're seeing there. And then it also says 24 days to inauguration, anxiety over over NAS Service Commission. Buhari yet to act 5 months after nomination of commission's members. And finally, Buhari returns from UK. Naysayers can swallow their words, say presidency. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
We have to take a break now. When we come back, it's going to be traffic reports and coffee gist.
Welcome to Lagos Traffic. Good morning. And if you are, for those of you, Ramadan Mubarak, all right, for those of you who are starting your fast today. But then definitely you have to go out on the road, and we'll do our best to see if we can help you. Remember, you can send in a comment at TVC Connect with the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria. Let's kick off from, let's go from Ajah, as though you're coming towards Lekki. And, well, straight up from Ajah, that should be at about the Splash Bar and Lounge. The Splash Bar and Lounge, moving up, it's quite free up until Ado Road. That should be getting to the bridge. Yeah, that should be just about the bridge. Now, just before that bridge, it picks up, and it is extremely very, very heavy traffic. At that particular point, it will take you, the traffic situation there will take you just a little under 11 minutes at that spot, just before the bridge. You know, I guess this is heading towards Badori at that point, yeah. It's going to, but then once you get to RCCG, it lightens up, and then moving on from there, FCMB area, it's quite cool. The traffic will take you towards Mega Chicken, Lekki, it's okay, and then you now have to pick up. Now, at this point, just before Lekki Conservation Center, the traffic situation there will take you about 50 minutes. That point, it's about like the most saturated place at this point in time. Up until Chevron, now the traffic goes from Chevron Gate, so from Lekki Conservation Center, just before Lekki Conservation Center, up until Chevron Gate, and then Piccadilly Streets, straight up until it starts getting a bit lighter at Spa, around Spa, Lekki, just before House on the Rock. It's quite free. Now, yeah, you might have to take a detour inside Lekki Phase 1. Yeah, right. If you're heading out towards VI and that area, it might be cool for you to do that. But then it frees up, of course, by the toll. There's a normal traffic which you get by the toll, and yeah, Dolphin Estate, it's free at this point. Heading up towards the 3rd Mainland Bridge, guys. Do you have any tweets there of any other traffic, any situation of any other place around Lagos? Maybe do you have any? Yeah.
Well, I hear that Obanikoro Inward Palm Grove is dragging. Some time back, just about 30 minutes ago, it was still good to go. But right now, it's, well, it's still not so bad. But, of course, it can always get better. And then, of course, we have this one that says traffic around Iyano Ikpaja axis is building up. I would have thought it would have built up by now. Well, but someone says it's building up, and that tweet was just some seconds ago. So I guess it's not so bad after all.
Traffic around those areas can be quite gangster. Yeah, but it also says here that Yaba inward Alagomeji Adekunle is good to go at the moment. So that might be a route some people can pass. It says there's a broke down truck at Ajayi Farm, Ikeja along at the moment. This is about 6 minutes ago. Okay. Around Satellite Town along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, apparently is good to go.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, inside Surulere is not bad at all until you come out, of course, on Western Avenue, where it then gets pretty busy as you approach Eko Bridge heading to the island. So people need to be careful when they arrive that area. But once you climb Eko Bridge and you pass the intersection, it's free all the way to when you begin to approach Akpogbon and the rest of that. So that's one thing to consider when you're going. So you wouldn't spend too much time on Western Avenue, but you might, around Alaka, you might spend some 25 minutes there before you then get on the bridge. So yeah, that's it. That's what I've got here for Surulere, traffic in Surulere.
Let's hear from Mike.
Okay, so let's see how 3rd Mainland Bridge is actually locked down. Immediately you head past Oworo. Now, just before Oworo, it's tight. At Oworo, it's a little bit free, but then the 3rd Mainland Bridge will take you 57 minutes, and that's being very, very conservative from what I see. 57 minutes, but the whole bridge is on lockdown now. Now, if you're going to head via Ikorodu Road, as though you're coming in from Ojota, well, definitely at Maryland, you know, by the BRT intersection, you definitely get the first phase of traffic there. It's free after that up until Antony, a little bit at Antony. Now, this is heading towards CMS, right? This is heading towards CMS. Picks up at Pedro before Shomolu, very heavy traffic there. It lightens up after Igbobi, Fadeyi bus stop, the Jibo Interpass. It goes up a little bit lighter by the time you get onto Surulere, Ikmonri area, Alaka. It's quite very tight there. Up until Eko Bridge free till you get to CMS. All right, that's all we can take on Lagos traffic this morning. Let's go. Let me go join the guys and let's see what we have to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what we have is tea. Just to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bunch of things in the news. So hopefully we can go over everything over the next 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
So first is about the poisonous pomo, which
Was
is
in the
now,
news this morning
is,
even.
of course, it's recurring again, and it looks like there's more than one factory where those things are being developed and sold. And because they're factories, you actually don't know what markets they're going to end up in.
Is it Pomo?
Yeah.
Because they're factories, you don't know what markets they're going to end up in. So the fact that the factory was in Igondo doesn't mean that, oh, we're safe in Ikeja or something like that.
right.
So people need to be careful. It's a factory, that means they bundle them up and send
just
them
send
in
And this is
different...
the second
markets.
time in less than a month.
Yeah.
Second time. And
Less
then
than 2 weeks even.
So the comments from one of the people that were interviewed during that package we had during the news, the lady said it smelled like a mortuary. Now that brings something to mind, the type of chemicals that they
That
were
were probably
using.
being
To
used.
preserve, because apparently it's to
That's
preserve it
to
for a long
preserve
period
it.
of time.
Mostly
That's
use
scary.
formalin. Formalin, which is used to preserve bodies. So it's actually about the same chemical. It's not like we've not known, but I now have to cut down on Pomo. That's it. That's it for
That's
Pomo.
it. That's
It's not a good development during the period of fasting when people want to eat different varieties. But that's the reality.
Just look up Pomo.
It's
And
best
it used to
just
happen.
stay away from
This used to happen with beans also.
Yes.
A lot of times, and then you put
chemicals.
chemicals.
Yeah.
Most times, these people do it just so as to make quick profits. It's the same thing with plantain, just so it can ripen faster and wrap it up in some chemicals. And it's disheartening because it seems as if these folks forget that they are human beings consuming
to
it.
eat it.
Like you.
The Pomo is
Actually-
given to children, and you know their bodies, the system isn't even strong enough to
I don't even
take
wanna,
so
I don't
many
even wanna
things. It's sad.
Think about.
It's so scary.
As tasty as Pomo Alata is, they want to
Wow.
spoil it in our delicacy.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Wow.
So next thing,
shall have started.
the gentleman.
There was something that I was made aware of recently. David Alaba, the footballer. He came out to say something about. I didn't have all the details, but he came out to say that under 17 coaches demanded bribes. From
So
him.
it happens this way. We've had a number of Nigerian internationals represent other countries. Some of them even after representing Nigeria. Stories of people like Francis Obikwelu and the rest and all that who have gone on to do very well. Now this is a left back who's one of the best in the world. I mean, like at one particular point, he has been in the FIFA Team of the Year. So at one point, he has been the best in the world. And his name is Olatokunbo Alaba. David, come on, man. He cannot be more Nigerian than he gets.
Yeah.
But we know this used to happen a lot, right? And then he comes up to say, look, I wanted to play for Nigeria. But the under-17 coach, as at that time, told my parents to pay a bribe to get into the team. That same year, he made his debut for Austria's senior team.
Wow.
That's
And
it.
it was interesting. It was
At this point,
interesting.
he's the captain of the Austrian national team.
Imagine.
Extremely. I mean, we've never had a three as good as him.
So as one thing I noted that he said his mother refused to pay a dime.
She refused. I mean,
So I took that. I took note of that. The fact that she said she refused to pay a dime because she understood how good, how talented her son was. Fine, every parent believes their child is talented, but she chose to go that route. Now, there are a lot of parents that end up paying for special centers for their kids. And the like.
Yeah.
What are you
And
teaching the kids?
Exactly. What exactly are you teaching? So right now he's the captain of the Austrian team.
national
That's
team
amazing.
and all
And
that.
so imagine the kind of legacy that she's left for him and what he's
Yes,
going to
he's
carry
been
on.
there.
Besides, okay, go
Yeah.
ahead. Besides that angle, I'm actually looking at it also from the angle of the fact that we as Nigerians, we are being deprived of several positives because of certain people who want to make certain amounts of money.
True. Exactly.
So we have talents ready to serve the country. These are guys who are making their money outside Nigeria. So whatever we give them in our country is just like an extra, so to speak, to whatever it is they're earning. Several of them earn thousands of pounds per week. So someone wants to come and play for Nigeria, and you're telling him he has to pay something. After all, he's making money outside the country.
Wow.
Is he making the money for you? And is he trying to help
scary.
your family or the country?
At least something I can say to a large extent authoritatively is that that era has actually really
It's fading
has faded a lot.
Thankfully, yes, I agree.
There's a time when it
Thankfully.
was very, we know.
Yes.
So people tell you that parents will come up and they'll go and pay for it, but it's been reduced.
really sad.
Even as at that time, we still had foreign coaches, but look, they pally you the foreign coach, oh, God,
Yeah.
before we even
Yeah.
present you to, but now it's reduced.
You know, that actually affected Mbappe in a way, though his father came out to say, oh, it's a lie, probably to protect his country.
Yeah.
But we know these things happen.
I mean, look
and
at
now
the
look at Mbappe.
Look at the French team.
See?
The French team, it was.
It's
I mean,
an African team.
Trevor Noah stated something. He said, "Look, Africa won the World Cup." The French ambassador to the US actually sent him a letter, which he read. He of course, he did it in the French accent, but I mean, for crying out loud, even the white, I mean, the Danish Algeria, for crying out loud. So it was, I mean.
So it's yeah, I mean, we have to round up. I just wanted to also mention that the price of tomatoes
Has gone up.
has gone up by 60% because of
He
the
actually
Ramadan.
calculated it.
White soup for everybody. White soup. White soup.
White soup. So,
White soup.
Or pepper
yeah,
soup.
it's only
more
in Nigeria
like.
that when something is happening, the prices go up instead
Go
of
up.
going down.
Oh no.
We have to go on a
Look
break
out for
now.
fruits and so many other things.
Gotta go.
Get back.
You're welcome again. It's time for our very first performance of the week, and today, of course. And it's from Brainy. And now, Brainy is actually Ifeanyi Onoka, yes, but everybody has a stage name. He's a rapper, a singer, a songwriter, and record producer who started out writing poems. I wonder who you were writing poems for. And then moved on to recording his works as rap. His professional music career kicked off in 2014 when he won the Pepsi Top 10 chart show, and he released a 17-track mixtape in 2016, Water. Is that Water or Water?
Water.
Water. Okay, great. And Bese.
Yep.
Okay, I want to be sure it's not Bese. Water and Bese are the latest of his works. Great to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So Bese, Water, which one are you performing for us today?
I'm performing Bese.
Bese. Oh,
Yeah.
it's Bese. Why? You see?
No, I told.
Okay,
no,
I was once using you Bese.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're performing Bese.
Yeah.
Now that word Bese seems to be like the trending word for music right now. Is that why you're jumping on the trend? Or
At
it's
that
an
time,
old
at that
song?
time it was. I released it November. I released the remix with DJ Spinals, Latin, and Chinko earlier this year.
Okay, so is it the remix you're going to be performing or the original?
Original, fine.
The original is fine. Okay, great. Now, I know you've also worked with Yemi Alade. You were on one of her songs. What song
Yaji.
was it? Yaji.
Yeah.
So what was it like working with her?
Originally, I was not supposed to be on the song.
Okay.
I practically vibed in the studio, and she liked it, and she put me on.
She put it on the
Yeah.
song. So how did it feel hearing the song on radio and saying, I'm on this track, oh.
I mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings.
But more of oh my God than wow.
Is this how it works?
Yeah, that's it.
And so with your exposure through featuring on Yemi Alade's song, what has it been like for you in the industry? Has it been easier or there's still certain challenges?
Easier, yes. Certain challenges, yes. A mix of both. Basically, it's join.
What do you mean by join?
It's more like oh, he did a song with Yemi. Oh, nice. Oh, let's wait for him to prove himself.
Okay, so it's time for you to prove yourself.
Okay, basically.
So I'm going to let you best say.
All right, all right,
I can't dance
all
the
right.
same,
Let's
but
do
like,
that.
so you just...
There's nothing we love more than starting our mornings with you. The feeling is great.
Yeah.
And, we just like to do this every single day for you.
3 times a day, by the way. Now it's the second hour of Monday morning, and well, not of Monday Morning, of the show this Monday morning, and it only gets better from here.
Yeah, so a new week is here, and you should be excited for all the possibilities and motivated as well. So we're bringing you some of that very shortly.
It's also the month of Ramadan, so we know our Muslim brothers and sisters are going to be busy this month, and we are right there with you.
It's the second hour of Wake Up Nigeria, and we have loads for you on the show today, so look out for it. My name is Yomi Obe.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Remember, we're streaming live on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. Please send in your comments. We can't wait to see them. Can't wait to read them. All the social media platforms need that hashtag Wake Up Nigeria.
And just to remind you, our app is available for download on the Google Play Store and the Apple iStore. And also, it allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yes, indeed. Now, we know that Mary is going to be spending quite a bit of time with Chef Tina in the kitchen.
Good morning.
Yes, Chef Tina in
Ready
the
for us.
kitchen. Great to have her here.
Good morning.
Chef Tina was dancing for us during that performance.
Earlier.
You needed to have seen her. I didn't know she could bust moves like that too. She was just going.
Okay.
I was just looking at myself like,
I taught her that step. Didn't I teach you that step?
Yes,
I
you
did.
did.
Titi,
I taught-
yes, you taught her.
I taught her.
Yeah.
Titi teaches the best of
In fact,
dancers.
she's the best dancer on this team.
Yeah, she is. She is.
If I think I can't dance, Titi can.
Wow.
Let's move on.
All right, so we gave you a great performance from Brainy earlier. Now, singer-songwriter, another one is coming up shortly, and his name is Terry.
Yes, so. And to motivate us to build capacity for success, author and renowned speaker Rufai Oseni will be joining us very, very soon. Now, there is a correct ATF specification for your vehicle. Ayo Shofela is going to be talking to us a lot more about this later on.
And Nigerian-born gospel artist Paula Ashing will be joining us on the show today as a guest.
And lastly, we'll be having Michael Ego, also known as Cocopreneur, the CEO of McNicky Foods, for our SME series this week. Hopefully, this will motivate and guide young entrepreneurs to stay on the right path. That's what we do every week, every
But
Monday.
all the work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Do you know today is actually no diet day?
Really?
So if you've been trying to lose weight or you've been trying to keep in shape and all, and you're probably on
Diet
some...
day.
I'm not shading anybody. Why are you laughing?
World cheat
I'm
day.
just saying that today
okay.
is no
World
diet
But
day.
somebody just stood up and just stand and said today, who's the best? Why you just stand, no diet day? Who are you? So we're that now, because you say it's no diet day, we
You know
just
what
stand
we
up
should do? You know what we should do?
and listen to you.
We should just sit down and plan our own day.
Have your own.
Because once you have like 2, 3, 4 people,
Yeah, it's
Making
wake up.
noise
We
about
should
it,
have
we
a
just-
wake up Nigeria day.
We just have a calendar and all that.
Let's
No,
pick
no,
a
no.
day.
There's already a World Mary Day. That's on my birthday. So if you like, don't choose your own birthday.
No
That's your
joke.
day.
There is a world Dynamite
World
day
Mike
already.
Day is coming up next month.
So because we
I am
should,
Dynamite day.
what we should try to do is set up something, then maybe put a petition, then get like 10,000 people to vote.
Wow.
Once people sign the petition,
That's it.
your day is
A
official.
world wake up
Have I
Nigeria
ever
day.
mentioned that Mike and my sister actually shared the same birthday?
Oh, really?
They were on the same team before.
Your sister, the actress.
Yeah, the actress. They were both on a breakfast show
Mary,
before.
Mary,
And
you've
guess
mentioned
what?
this is the
They don't
fifth-
see eye to eye.
This is the 7th time you've
They
mentioned that
actually
on
fight
Wake Up
a
Nigeria.
She
lot.
hasn't. She hasn't mentioned it.
She hasn't-
This is the 7th time.
I don't
I'm very
remember.
sure.
And
Definitely
she
not
was
on
on
the
the show.
couch.
She was on
Never.
She was on the show last week, and Mike, she doesn't look so bad.
At all. As in
Wait,
really,
wait.
Mike.
This
wow.
I don't like
Actually
where
looks
this conversation is
pretty
going.
lovely.
Mike, maybe you should
I
shoot
don't
your
like where
shot.
this conversation is going
I
to.
just mentioned. I
Because
just-
I already scored. There's no need to shoot again.
Wow, really?
When we scored goals, why shoot shots when you've already scored goals?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Where did you score the goal?
I don't understand.
We're not all these Alaba type of people. We
Wow.
represent
Wow.
we represent well. Okay, so just as
Yeah.
an aside,
Okay.
Avengers Endgame has broken the $2 billion mark.
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday.
$2 billion. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but this is massive. I mean, the
$2
movie
billion?
just 12 days,
12 days, $2
12
billion.
days, $2.2 billion. It's now under Avatar. It has beaten Titanic's record. So the
Wow.
only movie left,
Is
Avatar
Avatar.
is at 2.7
Yeah.
billion.
Oh, so obviously
Yeah.
it's going to be.
But Avatar, that's.
It's not going to be very easy because
I don't think it can beat Avatar.
No, I
It
think
might,
it would.
it might.
I think it would.
It
And
might.
If
Very
you look
likely.
at analysis and all that, if you take time, I can analyze, but I think it would.
I don't
But you know,
think
it's actually interesting
It's
that in
very
this
likely.
period of paid TV, you can watch TV
Yeah.
in your home.
Yeah.
People still go to the cinema.
Yeah,
It's
they do.
amazing.
Yeah, so that the cinema experience is not like any other unless you have a
It's
cinema
evolving
in your house.
as well. Remember, there's now the IMAX, there's now the 4DX.
Gotta go to news.
It's evolving, so it's not the same cinema experience it was before. Let's take the news update now, though. We're talking too much.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to the news again. The Islamic holy month of Ramadan starts today, Monday. The Sultan of Sokoto, who is the President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Saad Abubakar, says the crescent moon for the month has been sighted. With these, the next 30 days would be days of dawn-to-dusk fasting for Muslims. While it lasts, faithful are required to not only abstain from food, but also strive to give alms and engage in more acts of worship. Muslim faithful the world over are commemorating Ramadan, the 9th month of Islamic calendar. It is a month of fasting, which is the third pillar of Islam. Ramadan is to commemorate the first revelation of the Holy Quran to Prophet Muhammad, and fasting in Ramadan is ibadah, that is the obedience, submission and devotion to Allah, which all Muslims are encouraged to observe. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has sent greetings to the people of the country and Muslims in particular as they commence the month-long Ramadan fast. In a message on Sunday night, following the news of the sighting of the lunar month of Ramadan, President Buhari called for the continued peace, progress and prosperity of the country. President Buhari in his message noted that Islam is a religion of peace that upholds the values, tolerance and mutual coexistence without a place for hatred and violence. He also urged Muslims to use the fasting period to build a relationship of friendship and harmony with fellow citizens of other faiths. Some lucky couples in Kano State have been rewarded with a sum of 20,000 naira for getting married. This was after the government conducted mass wedding for 1,500 couples. The ceremony took place at the State Central Mosque in the presence of the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, alongside government officials. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje says the move is to help unmarried people fulfill their dreams. And at least 41 people have been killed after a Russian plane caught fire in mid-air. The Aeroflot passenger plane had to make an emergency landing at Sheremetyevo Airport in Moscow. Many passengers then escaped via the plane's emergency slides that inflated after the hard landing. The plane, which had been flying from Moscow to Murmansk before turning back, had been carrying 78 passengers. It's unclear how many crew were on board, and the cause of the fire is not immediately known. Russian investigators have opened an investigation and are looking into whether the pilots breached air safety rules. Brunei will not impose the death penalty on those convicted of having gay sex in an apparent bid to temper international condemnation following its rollout of strict new Islamic laws that last month. In a televised speech on Sunday, the country's ruler said it would extend a ban on capital punishment and ratify the United Nations Convention Against Torture. This comes following a global backlash to the country's announcements in April that it would impose draconian new punishments, including death by stoning for those convicted of gay sex, adultery and rape. The tiny oil-rich Asian kingdom became the first East Asian country to introduce Sharia law at the national level in 2014, introducing the legislation and associated penalties in stages. And that's the news updates for this hour. We'll now bring you the weather forecast for the day.
So it turns out that whenever Chef Tina is in the kitchen, Mike must always find his way here. Is there a magnet in our body?
I don't know.
Just take a look at it.
Stop distracting me and Chef Tina.
I should stop. Abi, you are the one distracting us.
Please, Chef Tina, what are we doing today? Don't worry about me.
A very good morning to you. I have here with me Chef Tina, and together we'll be doing our best to ignore Mike. Today she'll be teaching us a thing or two about cooking delicious meals. Chef Tina, what are you making today?
I'm actually making spinach soup and tiger nut fufu.
Tiger nuts?
Yes, tiger nuts.
Oh, wow. Tiger nut fufu.
Yeah.
Well, the ingredients are on your screen right now. You can check it out. Spinach soup and tiger nut fufu. So very interesting ingredients there. Let's talk about it, Chef Tina.
Okay, I have my chicken. I'm frying my chicken already. Then I have my onions.
Okay.
I have my smoked fish.
Okay.
My spinach.
Okay.
I have my chopped tomato and pepper just for garnishing. Then my salt. I have my locust beans.
Okay.
I have my prawn.
You, Abby?
Yes,
and I have my seasoning cube.
I know what this is now.
So I'm almost done with my
frying.
Okay.
So
I'm just going to add my onions. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to fry
everything
together?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have my onions here.
Okay. So it fries with it?
Fries with it.
But I noticed you also put a bit of onions just before you started frying the chicken.
Yes. Whenever you're frying, whatever you're frying, it's actually, that onions actually take the smell of the vegetable oil off, in case you have any vegetable oil that has a smell.
Okay, in case it's been pre-used.
Even not pre-used, it has this nice aroma when you add onions.
It's true, it's true, it's true.
Yes, we know you know it's true.
So I'm going to add my
blended
blended pepper.
The aroma, you can
Let
feed the
Chef
aroma.
Tina speak. So
my blended pepper. I have my pepper, tomatoes. Okay. Mike really wants to assist too.
This assistance is taking another level.
You know, my blended pepper. I had my tomato, onions, and pepper blended and pre-cooked. You know, so
I see the way I'm turning this
thing.
We know you are turning it.
It's not turning on your own. No.
I just knew he was going to say that.
If I turn your food for you, the way it come out.
So all I'm going to say is, if the food is tasty today, many thanks to Chef Tina. But if something goes wrong, well, we have someone to blame.
There's no comma in this one,
though. No. Do you know what? Mike just said something now. When I was getting the recipe together, I was like, oh my God.
Don't worry, you tell me all about it later. You tell me all about it later, because we have to go on a short break right now. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
Well, it's Monday and time for some motivation. We are joined by Rufai Oseni, who is an author, radio presenter, and global speaker. He's also an entrepreneur, and he's going to be motivating us to talk to us about building capacity for success. I love that topic, especially at the beginning of the month like this, if you're trying to improve yourself and become better. Just now, before we came on, we're talking about reading. And the fact that, you know, lots of people don't read. And there's something that remarkable that you said, which was reading culture is directly connected with development. But anyway, let's talk about success, right? And building your capacity. Because I do feel like reading is a part of this. One of the things that you probably would tell us this morning.
It is a major part of it, but the most important part of building capacity for success is understanding self. I think it was Plato that said the most important battle you fight is that of self, and the most important war you have to win is the conquest of self.
Right.
So when you understand yourself, you understand your embodiment, you understand the component of you as an individual, then you start to build capacity for success. And the most important thing about success is relative. Not everybody's success will be the same. But your success is incumbent on yourself because you know your abilities, you know your capabilities, and then you can improve in that line. Some people are not logistically inclined. Some people are artistically inclined. So there's a difference in that regard. But you know, we have a society that tells everybody that success is one thing. A new car, a new house, that's success. But the skewed understanding of success affects society. So you need to know thyself, most importantly, and say, okay, this is me. Another thing you have to understand is your mission. You need to know your mission. Everybody on earth has a reason why they're on earth. No two persons have a similar mission. So the day you were brought on earth, the day you were born, you came with a specific direction and purpose. What Martin Luther King came for was different from what Mahatma Gandhi came for. What Mahatma Gandhi came for was different from what Barack Obama came for. What Obafemi Awolowo came for was way different from what other presidents came for. Not to say Obafemi Awolowo was the president, but Ojukwu did say was the greatest president that never was. So once you understand your mission at this space, at this point in time, you ask yourself, why was I born in Nigeria at this point in time? Because a lot of people are running out to Canada. Why was I not born in the Canada we're running out to? There is a specific mission for you here. There's a specific goal to achieve. And when you understand that mission, then you start to build capacity. So how do you build capacity?
It's one of the things that, before we go into that, you talked about discovering self.
Yeah.
Is there a process?
Oh, yeah.
For this discovery? Because, sometimes someone can say, I've been out of school for the past 10 years. And I don't really know what I want to do, or the way the country is means that I have to look for a job. Even though I know what I really want to do, or what myself is, or what my purpose is supposed to be, in order for me to survive, I need to have a job. And in order for me to then have a job, I need to be working somewhere to be earning money to take care of things, if you know what I mean. So how do you then, how do you balance that? Working somewhere, doing something else that is different from what you really wanted to do?
On the road to success, there is personal discovery. And on the road to personal discovery, there are pitfalls, there are valleys, there are ups and downs. So you will pass these ups and downs. I mean, some people don't discover themselves in their 20s, they discover themselves in their 40s. Some don't do that in their 40s, they discover themselves in their 50s. But what is most important is, what is the goal ahead? Where do you want to be? For the fact that you had to take another job before you got to where you were going doesn't mean that that dream has ended. Because life is a process. In discovering yourself, 3 things I'll just tell you. What is most pertinent to you? What is most valued to you? What hurts you when you see this is happening in society and you can't change? If you answer those 3 questions, you're on the path to discovering yourself. What is most pertinent? What is most important to you? What means so much to you more than anything else? What is most valued? What do you cherish? What do you adore? What hurts you? What irritates you?
These are some of the things that you look
so
out
if
for.
you can answer these 3 questions, you're well on your way. Because in all the things you like and you don't like lies your values, lies your virtue, lies your purpose.
All right, so let's change gears now, moving away from self-discovery and discovering yourself, which is the first thing about building capacity. Let's talk about the building now. How do I put together these building blocks and begin to build my capacity to be able to then achieve my purpose?
When you check the motto of the United Nations, it's hinged on something called Caisson's Portico. A Frenchman did that work, Caisson, and it's built according to the porticos of the Greek, the buildings of the Greek.
Right.
Formidable forces. So the portico that holds your virtue and your capacity building are hinged on integrity, quality of work, purpose understanding, and your relationship with God.
So integrity,
quality of work, purpose understanding, and your relationship with God. Because there is a manufacturer that brings everything together for you. That's who manufactured you. He's got your manual. Integrity is key. Integrity is the formidable key that opens the doors of many things for you in life. Understanding the purpose and the quality of work. Work must be done. You must put in work. The South African famous golfer, Gary Player, said, the harder I work, the luckier I become. The harder I work, the luckier I become. So there must be a level of work. Work is split into 2. It could be hard work, it could be smart work. But what is most important? You have to put in some work. So what is the work? Reading, studying, introspection, investing on books, Being able
which a lot of people don't do.
Which a lot of people don't do. And that's the work. You need to put in a lot of work into it. What's the work? Reading, studying, networking. Going out there, giving out your cards to people and telling them, I can give you this product and service. Be willing to be mentored and being talked to by other people that can lead you on a path of success. That's the work. But when you have the work, you must have integrity with it. Because work without integrity is pure frustration. The reason why a lot of people feel they're frustrated is they might have the work ethic, but there's no integrity to back it up. So they get frustrated. Because integrity will open any door for you.
But yeah, a lot of the things that you're saying, they sound very, a lot of times, they sound very bookish. You know, like, okay, so I feel like I'm reading a book now.
Okay.
And you're telling me a lot of all these things, and they look like nice principles on the pages of a book. But maybe when I then get out into the real world, it then looks like it's difficult to apply such principles, especially when you live in Africa, where we know that a lot of things are not as smooth as you thought that it would be. So you have this principle, you said in your mind, oh, I gotta have integrity, I gotta have the qualifications that is required to do this job, and then you put everything together, and then you're out there, and you know the feedback you're getting is that the walls that are out there don't support a lot of these systems. So how do you then navigate around these pitfalls?
I'm a vivid example. I have spoken at Cambridge. I have spoken at Ivy League institutions. How? Because of integrity. The first time I spoke at Cambridge, the person that connected me to speaking at Cambridge was somebody I met many years ago, and that gave me a simple test. He told me to volunteer on a project, that the project was going to help me. Others volunteered, and after volunteering, they went to ask for money. And he said, this defeats the essence of volunteering. You cannot say you have volunteered for something and asked for money.
Yeah, that defeats the purpose.
But I didn't. And afterwards, he tested me on many platforms. And there were some times where I lost because a lot of people did call me fool. Oh, you could have taken money from him, you didn't. But I said I was volunteering. And when the opportunity came, he said, I will recommend you to come speak at the George Business School in Cambridge because of your high sense of integrity. So it might look as though it's not working now, but trust me, life is accumulating those points of integrity for you, and it will beckon on you one day. But the problem with society is society has grown very impatient, and people think I have to pass the fastest road first. People think, oh, if I don't cut corners, I wouldn't make it. But people are watching you.
I like that.
People are watching you. And what we fail to realize is the fact that everybody, every single day you meet, is marking the assessment card of your character.
I love it. I mean, you're going to be with us throughout the month of May.
They're marking the assessment card.
You're going to be with us throughout the month of May, hopefully. And I like that we're ending on this note. People are watching you, and it's important that whatever you do, put integrity first, and you'll make some great progress. Thank you so much, Rufai Hussaini, for joining us this morning. We're going to be checking out what the ladies are cooking in the kitchen. And I know that Mary and Chef Tina have been hard at work.
Oh, Yomi, we ladies have been hard at work, especially Chef Tina. There's been a whole lot happening right here in the kitchen. You're welcome again. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, of course. And we are cooking up a storm. Our stew is ready. Yeah, we'll talk about the stew later. But today we're having a very delicious dish. Chef Tina, tell us about the dish and let's go on.
Spinach soup and tiger nut fufu.
That tiger nut fufu is the one everyone is keen to see. You're taking so much time to get it ready. The ingredients are on your screen right now, okay? So you can scribble them down, especially if you missed one or two things earlier. So I see you're like bleaching the palm oil.
Not really. I'm not.
Oh, it's very hot.
Very hot, yes.
Oh my.
I have my onions now.
Okay.
So I'm going to add my little of my
tomato and pepper.
Tomato and pepper.
But fresh, not ground. Yes. Why is it blended?
I want a situation whereby I can see the roughage when it's in the soup. Yes. Okay. So I will just add everything.
It's already having color, and we've only just begun. Palm oil and tomato, pepper, and onions. That's all. No pepper yet.
No pepper yet.
Yeah.
So I have my fish. I'm just going to add my fish.
Okay. Oh my. This looks yummy. Good enough for rice as it is.
Even yam. Then I have my prawn in immediately.
It's coming along really nicely. Nice.
So I'll just add little of my locust beans, just little of it.
Okay.
So it can get into the fish and the prawn.
Can I put more if I want? Or it's
You
not
can.
advisable?
You can.
So it's as much as I like to put it. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
So I'll just
a
add
little bit of salt.
little bit of salt because we already have salt in our stew.
Okay.
So I just put just this little seasoning cube. I don't want it to be salty.
Okay. Oh, wow. So we let that steam, okay? So while we let it steam, we'll go for a quick break. And then, of course, you come back to see how far we've gone with our meal. Yes, we're coming right back to the kitchen. Let's just go on this quick break. As I said, we are back in the kitchen showing you more about our meal today. Chef Tina is our chef today, and she's making spinach soup with tiger nut fufu. Okay.
So I have my spinach already.
Okay.
I'm just going to add it up here.
Yeah. And then in a few seconds, we'll show you how to make the tiger nut fufu. I'm sure everyone is excited to see that. I can't wait to see it myself. The magic you're going to create with that tiger nut. Because I know there's tiger nut drink. And I know for sure that people chew it and even eat it for different purposes.
The healthy aspect of it is when you use it as your swallow.
Wow.
Yes.
I would never have thought. You were going to say something earlier when Mike was here.
Okay, I said when I was putting my recipe together,
Yeah.
I just remembered something. I said, oh, I'm going to miss bomo.
Bomo.
You know how bomo is in your plate when you're served?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. I wish you had put in for more because it would mean that Mike wouldn't even want to eat it. That would have been nice.
Maybe I should just go and get bomo
I
now.
can quickly help you get it, just so Mike doesn't have a taste.
So I have my water already boiled.
Time for the fufu. Tiger nuts fufu.
There's something about these tiger nuts.
Okay.
It does not take a lot of water.
Okay.
So what you're going to do, in order for you to
be on the safe
on
side.
the safe side, just reduce your water
to the barest minimum.
To the barest one, and you know, you just keep adding.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm just going to take the tiger nut.
Okay.
You stir like normal fufu.
Okay. Oh wow.
So like I rightly said, it's good to be safe. So I reduced my water.
Okay. So you can now add.
I can now add. It's better for you to add a little. Just hold on. No, not yet. So you won't get that very light, too soft. So I need water now. Just little.
Just a little. Okay. So it's a little at a time.
Little at a time. So I need little more.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no swelling in this case.
No.
No expanding.
No.
Ah. So there are different ways to actually have your tiger nuts. Fantastic.
So I need more water.
So if you have the tiger nut flour too, instead of just making a drink,
you can use it to make this, and you can actually use it to bake.
You can use it to bake?
Yes.
Oh. But okay, so I don't know, can it be used for sari?
Yes.
It can be used for sari?
Yes.
Okay, certain Muslims are already asking me questions about that, so we have to give them the answer quickly.
So it's, you just add little more water, reduce your heat.
Okay.
Reduce your heat, and just cover for
Allow
like
it to
few
steam.
minutes, yes. Just
That's
few
it.
minutes,
It's
yes.
like making any other kind of swallow. I thought you were going to do something magical because it's tiger nut.
So I have my...
You're still going to put more?
Locust beans, the last one added to it. And
oh gosh,
you can
the
see
vegetable.
How vegetable is.
Ah, that looks yummy. Totally divine, doesn't it?
Yes. So I go straight to my...
This is ready.
It's ready.
Oh, wow. There goes the tiger.
You know, it's so easy. It's not so difficult like every other
unlike
swallow that
others.
you just...
But if I want to thicken it, can I add something else, like maybe, you know, poundo flour or plantain
Mary, it's
flour?
actually, you were eating healthy food this morning. No?
So it's a bad idea to add all those?
It's a bad idea to add them. So,
but what if it's not thickening properly?
That was why I said
you add more water,
when you want
water.
to make it, you just add water, little at a time. Then this is our tiger nut.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay, no problem. Our breakfast is ready, and we are starting the week on a heavy note. As heavy as, I wanted to say as Chef Tina.
Mary,
I love you, Chef Tina. But yes, you know what we're talking about. We have the stew, we have the vegetable, we have of course, our tiger nut fufu. And we have Titi also, ready to give us today in history. Babe, are you ready for us?
Well, when it comes to history, we have a segment for that coming up very soon, but not before we take this interview. We have a very interesting lady in the studio. Her name is Paula Ashing. Now, she's an artist specializing in Christian music, and she's presently the CEO at Warringah Media Aboriginal Corporation in Western Australia. Now, she works in writing and singing inspirational songs by connecting her music to her environment, relationships, family, beliefs, and so on. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Titi. It's really, really, really nice to be here, and I'm so honored to have this opportunity to be able to speak to Nigerians and then, you know, to come into TVC.
Thank you so much. Now, many people don't know this, but you're also in broadcast media in Nigeria before you left for Australia.
Yes. For Lagos, I used to be on Galaxy Television.
Oh, wow.
Casting the news. That was, you know, the last I
was
on on TV in Lagos. You know, I started with NTA Channel 7, and then to Ibadan and NTA as well.
So media has been part of your...
So Nigeria has actually built my media, you know, experience. So it's a matter of taking that experience that I've been built to do here and then being able to implement that in what I'm doing at the moment.
And now you've brought your music home from Australia, but Australia, once I say the word Australia, the name Australia, I want to hear more about it. So when you decided to move to Australia, did you go to do media there?
Yes. Yes, actually. So I got into, leaving television and then got into radio. So it was more like, you know, I was telling you, I said, it was like, seriously, am I on holiday here? It's like, I'm on holiday. This is more relaxing. It's not, you know, the uptight. Wow, seriously. So yeah, it is. I got into radio and had to relax a bit, you know, and I've been in radio since about 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and managing, at present I manage the radio station, so yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So just in case I'm looking for a radio job in Australia, I need your number, you know, just saying, just putting it out there, you know.
Opportunity.
No, really.
Why not if not?
Okay, but it's really great to meet you. Let's talk about your music. Now, I can see the name of this. Should I call this an EP or an album?
No, that's actually my album. My first album, actually. My very first one. Thank you.
Congratulations.
If anybody had told me a year and a half ago that I'm going to, you know, go into music production, I'm actually going to do it officially, I'm going to say UK. No.
Wow.
Well, you know, for me to then go into it, it's like I just sang and sang. That's me. And it's taken me over 25 years to get to this point and decide, because people kept saying, when are you going to release your album? You keep singing and singing and singing with all these people all over. When are you going to actually release your album? So I decided, I said, well, okay, I'm going to do it. And the first song on this album is called Iyanu. That first song is actually, was actually a miracle. If I sit here and tell you the story, that's going to take a long time, and we can't go through into that. Okay. But just know that the album, what's it called? The song Iyanu was actually a miracle for me.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. I want to go through some of the other songs we have here. You have Nothing Impossible.
Yep.
You also have Free, which is the title of the album.
Yep.
And then you have I Stand.
I Stand.
That's what you
yes.
have.
Yes.
So I love the titles for your tracks.
Thank you.
They're beautiful. And we saw a video earlier, and I have to talk about where this video was shot. Please tell us a bit about that.
That was just in my backyard. What I'll say, that was my backyard.
Backyard in Australia?
Like, I'm saying I'm going from here next door.
Really?
Yeah.
It looked very serene and very
yes,
picturesque.
that's where I live. I live in the East Kimberley.
Okay.
And I live in the outback. So in the East Kimberley, you've got all this landscapes and all that. And that production, because of the job I'm doing at the end of the day, I didn't have to, pay to do it.
Oh,
so I had to kind of just use, I had the support of my organization to support in doing this, because that's the thing, because you put a lot into the work, so you kind of get back a bit out of it.
I love the fact that you said people, it was easy for you to produce this.
Yes.
But that was probably because it was abroad. So I know you came back to, do some ministrations here as well. You've been singing here. How have people been responding?
Oh, actually, I have been so, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it just reminds me of the first day I sang to a white man. Oh, okay. Not a white man. There were ladies. There were two ladies. They came to preach, and they preached. The way I felt like, Oyibo understands me. Oh, yes, Oyibo understands me. I was like, wow. The way they've actually taken it.
Oh, let's hear that song. Let's take a clip.
Yes.
So that we can feel what you're talking about. Before your throne. All right. So, as a Nigerian artist, that lives abroad, any quick message for people watching?
Do you know, my message is, if you have a dream, it is a dream, and it will always come to pass. Don't call it quit. It's for the fact that it's taking me 25 years to do this. Don't call it quit. You can do it.
Aww.
You can.
All right then. Thank you so much
once
again, Paula Ashing. The amazing Essing.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
She's right. She's been here for a bit, and she's heading back to Australia, and we wish her a safe trip.
Thank you, Titi.
Very soon.
Thank you so much.
All right then. We have to move along with the show now. The second hour has just wrapped up, but there's still more. Stay with us. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
Well, I was just about to say Friday, but it's Monday.
Yeah,
and,
it's Monday.
It's nice. It's been a lot. We've had 2 hours already, and I can tell you that this show has been very, very motivational for us. We've seen quite a lot, and it's been a great show already.
We've been here for the past 2 hours, and we're still here for another 45 minutes. Now, you need to know this because it only gets better from here as the show progresses. A big good morning to you again.
Good morning to you as well. This show is still Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. As always, we're live streaming now. We're online, tvcontinental.tv, and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. We appreciate it when you connect with us, especially when you use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. And the TVC app is available for download, both on the Android iStore, the Android.
Here we go again. Yeah. For all the
Google
stores.
Play Store and the Apple iStore. From anywhere in the world, you can watch us live on this show.
Now, very shortly, we will have a dance performance coming your way in a bit. So that should be something you should look forward to.
Dance performance from NDs. Looking forward to it. We should all know a little bit about history, and that's going to be coming up very shortly.
Yes,
Bring you a number of notable events from back in time this week in history.
Very important, very, very important. And then we'll definitely have our auto care segment. We're going to be talking about transmission fluid and some other things like that. It's going to be interesting. We have our SME guest today.
Yeah,
as well.
Michael Eagle. He is also known as the Cocopreneur, the CEO of Minchiki Foods, and he's going to be on our SME segment on the show this morning.
A lot of young entrepreneurs out there that need to hear from that guy.
Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody just now. So for guys and girls, what age is it for a lady that height Okpari has ended for her?
Wow. Really?
As in growing up?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I remember
So many
that
people
it
will
was,
tell you it's maybe 19 years old.
about 19, yeah.
But I don't agree.
It's not.
I don't know.
So,
it's probably
because
a medical...
I know somebody who, just before she got pregnant, was like 1.74 centimeter. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
And 6 years after the
Meters,
birth of her
you
child,
meant, yeah.
she's about 1.79.
Wow, she was getting taller.
So she was still getting taller, and she was in her 20s as at that time. And
I
that person
actually-
is me.
I
Like,
actually
I
heard
grew
somewhere-
taller.
I actually heard somewhere
So,
that
I
there are
don't
some
know.
workouts you can actually do.
So a lot of
to elongate your
exactly. So
bones.
there's a lot of
I don't know.
people who, because of their growing up, especially during the teenage years, so your height always also has to do with your the structure of your spine.
Yeah.
So there's some people whose spines are
Bent over.
slightly
Yeah.
bent, slightly. So you won't see it, you won't notice it. But when they straighten up, they're slightly taller, just a few inches. But when they bend.
Yeah.
When they bend a little
bend.
bit, then they're slightly shorter. So a lot of those things happen. Then people that also have something called spondylosis, I think. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
wow.
Yeah.
That's why.
So they bend, so they're
curvature
naturally
of the
curved
spine.
until they stretch out, which is some of the exercises you're talking
That
Yeah.
about.
you spoke
So
about.
when they stretch out
so
a little bit,
People
and-
that do yoga, for instance, they
Yeah.
say people that you do yoga actually
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get
your
taller.
elasticity.
so when
stretches
you when you do those exercises, your spine straightens
Straightens
up,
up.
and then you're taller.
Okay, so but for ladies, once you are, I know that it's once you are 16, for a lady, once you are 16, that the height you are at, just know that majority it's going to be hard.
height-
For
is
guys,
height-
for guys.
is height a criteria
No, what I'm saying is
for-
that. No, what I'm saying is that there are always exceptions. There are no absolutes. That's for me, except when you're talking about
So it's about
dating.
16.
About 16 for ladies. About guys, they could go to like 18. What I'm saying, there are people that will grow, but it's the average age for ladies. You know, once it's 16, that's about your height.
But I'm wondering why this is important to you.
Okay, no, someone were mentioning
very-
it was a
I'm
gist this
concerned.
morning. So somebody was trying to give hope to somebody and all that. So they're like, if you don't eat beans when we're younger,
Try to give somebody hope.
No, see, that beans thing is
So-
not true. I didn't like beans as a child.
Wow.
In fact, I didn't. Maybe
know,
that's
that's
even
the
why I
protein
grew
that we
all
taller.
genetic.
Little
I
part
didn't
of
like
protein.
it until a few
It's
years
all
back.
genetic now, isn't it genetic?
Yeah, I believe so.
to a large extent, yeah.
But,
So
well,
you
I'm
could
still
have,
the tallest person in my family. Though.
yeah, probably your
Yeah.
dad or mom had a recessive gene, a tall gene that was recessive.
Yeah.
You know, we have a dominant gene and
possible.
genes and a
Yeah.
recessive genes.
Yeah.
So you could have short parents and tall kids because maybe they have there's
Like
a little bit
their
of
grandfather or
recessive,
cousin
yeah,
or
you know,
something.
recessive gene that's inside us.
My grandmom, that's
one
my
other
dad's
thing-
mom.
yeah.
Tall and huge.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Like, I don't think I'm.
But you guys are tall. At least I don't know.
So one thing that I also wanted to mention was that children born after 2000
Yeah.
are slightly taller than children born before then.
Sure now, sure
so-
now.
Why? Why is that?
Those ones.
No,
don't
African
know why.
children, because we
Oh.
have access to better nutrition.
I don't know.
It's just that, it's nutrition.
Okay.
So you will find out that 5-year-olds from this
Yeah.
generation, when you compare them to 5-year-olds,
5-year-olds
in
of
the
that,
80s,
you're right, you're
yeah.
right.
So it's not often that we have two Yomis on the show, but we do have another Yomi join me here on the auto segment on this show. And he's from Auto-Centric Garage, as Yomi here. And he's becoming a household name here. He helps us out with a lot of consulting with our cars. Now, we're talking about transmission fluids. We started last week, and Yomi is going to be talking to us about, generally about transmission fluids and the things that we need to know and pay attention to. So where do we start, Yomi?
First, hi guys, good morning. you first need to know where your transmission dipstick is. Now, what's the dipstick? Is the point you use to measure and check.
Measurement, yeah.
Yes, measurement.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Very
so,
good.
So we need to know where the dipstick is.
Yes. Now, for this car, this is a Toyota Corolla, right? It's placed in front here, and you can easily
find it.
Yes.
But some other cars is a bit difficult.
Some other cars is a bit difficult. Some you can't even check. The owner can't check. You need to take it to a workshop.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because they don't want you tampering with your car. Some auto manufacturers do that. They don't want you tampering with your car. But some are friendlier and customer friendlier. So you can have you check it yourself.
Okay.
So once you locate the dipstick, you need to then look first at what's written on it. For this model of Toyota, now it says WS. There'll be a couple of things written on it.
Yeah.
Now here it says WS. You'll be wondering, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Then you need to look at your fluid level. So now, looking at this fluid here, it's a bit dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are three things you need to check when checking your transmission fluid. You need to check out the smell, the color, and texture. Now, looking at this looks a bit dark, right?
Yeah.
Which is not so bad. At this point, it's closer to pink than it is to black. So that's a good transmission.
So what's the original color?
It's meant transmission colors, they come in pink.
Okay, so they usually come in pink.
Yes,
so
when it's brand
begins
new, unused. Once
yeah.
it gets into your transmission system and it starts to work, it starts to change color gradually.
Yeah, okay,
Good.
okay.
So when you check this way, this is really close to pink than it is to black, so it's good. I mean, it was changed recently.
Yes.
Right? You also need to check it when it's hot, not when it's cold.
So when it's been used a little bit?
Yes, you might run the engine for about 2-3 minutes before you check, right? So with that, you will get the accurate measurement. Now, unlike your engine that you should check when it's cold, for transmission, the engine has to be warm. And before checking, you need to run it in all the gear positions. That's from the park, reverse, neutral drive, and if you have lower gears, check them. Then put it back in neutral. Engage your handbrake on a flat surface. Then pull out the stick. Then you'll get proper measurements of where it would be.
Right.
Okay, so that's very important.
So that's for the measurement itself.
The measurement
now,
itself.
Let's talk about all these other writings that we have on it. So
Okay.
we talked about WS and a couple of other numbers that we're seeing there.
Good. WS is the transmission fluid type. It means world standard for Toyotas, So that means this is the recommended fluid because each manufacturer, each brand has its own fluid type you should use,
So, but people just generally park the car and say, please give me transmission fluid, and then
Error.
anyone that you're giving is the one that you pour in the car.
It shouldn't be. That's
so
bad practice.
You shouldn't do that. It's
You
bad
shouldn't do
practice.
that. You need to get the recommended fluid type for your car.
I never knew that. I actually never knew that.
Really? Remember there was a time people had a lot of Nissan Muranos, and they had issues.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of the uneducated mechanics had problems because they just would put in any transmission fluid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And for that model, that Nissan Murano, they had a particular type of transmission fluid
that we were supposed to
that
have
work
used
for
that car.
Yes, I think it was the Matic D. So if you use a regular Dextron 2, for instance, you would ruin the gearbox immediately.
Wow.
Yes. There was a lot of, back then, a lot of people condemned the Nissan Murano that the gearbox was bad. No, it was the uninformed mechanics.
Uninformed mechanics. Okay, so...
And owners too.
So we're talking about the type of transmission fluid that you use, and this one is WS. So WS, what does that mean?
World standard.
So that means world standard, it means I can use anyone?
No, it means it's a Toyota specified transmission fluid. So if you go into the market and you ask for Toyota WS transmission fluid, you will be given this.
And it should be written on the bottle that is WS.
Yes, it will be written that. But then if you don't find a WS, there are alternatives to it. You can then use a Dextron 4 for it.
Right, because that will then be the active ingredients.
The active ingredients will be the same.
Yeah.
So for instance, you're in a location you can't find WS, you can then use a Dextron 4 that would work fine for it.
Right.
In fact, from Dextron 3, you're good. It would work fine for you.
So that's specific to Toyotas, Toyotas anywhere. Yeah. So is there any other thing we need to pay attention to on this dipstick?
On this dipstick, you need to be sure you have the dipstick with you and you're not pulling out the engine or...
Yeah, that happens a lot as well.
Yeah, so you're not pulling so on it will be written ATF. In most cases, this has ATF written here as well.
Okay.
Yes. So ATF means automatic transmission fluid.
Right.
So once you need to read and look at it, so you don't pull out the wrong dipstick and you're busy with the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So really, really important to ensure that you know which one is for your car. So how then do you know if your mechanic is knowledgeable enough? Because there are some people who, like, I don't ever try to check my I can check my engine oil generally, but transmission fluid I probably won't check. So imagine if I just took my car to servicing, how do I know that my mechanic is using the right one? Do I educate him or do I ask him?
You need to ask. Ask first, because he might know.
He might know, he might not know.
He might know and he might not know. So when you ask him, he will then tell you, okay, yes, this is the right thing I'm doing, this is what you're meant to do, and like that. So once you ask the question that what fluid is recommended for my vehicle, you understand? Because some vehicles will use the Dextron 3, some will use Dextron 4, some will use, you know, the WS, you know, for the Hondas. So they have their own fluids for them, you know, the Z1 and all of that. So each manufacturer, each car brand has their transmission fluid.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But
So
more importantly, I want us to pay attention to transmission or gearbox maintenance. A lot of people don't even know you need to change the gear fluid at a certain point. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay.
I just thought, you know, once it shows me a light or whatever.
No.
Or, you know, people. So I'm happy that we're having this conversation because, you know, people are getting educated to know that they can ask questions. Number one, ask your mechanic questions. Number two, do these checks by yourself if you can. And, you know, like you're saying now, it means that you also have to do maintenance by changing the fluid when it's at a certain level or when it's done.
Yes, which I would recommend at least once a year.
Once a year?
Once a year. Have your transmission.
So not too often, but, you know, once a year.
Yes. For instance, you can say at every, or maybe every 6 months, which might come down to twice a year. It's also a function of use too. How do you use your car? What do you use it for? For a vehicle that does a lot of hauling, does a lot of long trips, you should have it changed more often because the transmission is really working hard.
All right, Yomi of Auto-Centric Garage, thank you so much for joining us this morning and talking to us about transmission fluid. I've learned a thing or two, actually, and this is really, really nice. So how do I find you on Instagram?
You can find us at Auto-Centric Garage _NG. One word, Auto-Centric Garage _NG. We're also on Twitter at Auto-Centric G. We're on Facebook as well at Auto-Centric Garage.
Thank you so much, Yomi, for joining us.
Welcome back. Now, you know, starting a business in Nigeria is not quite as hard as sustaining it. Now, that is why we like to bring you individuals who have managed this feat in one way or the other. Now, this morning we have the Cocopreneur for you. Michael Ego is into coconut crunches and flakes and also cold-pressed coconut oil. Okay, it's good to have you. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so good. Coconut, as we know, is something people has a lot of health benefits and all of that. But let's talk about your journey. How and why did you decide to go into production of food material from coconuts?
Well, my journey into coconut or cocopreneurship started about 8 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to eat coconut candy. You know, back then that's what we call it. And I went to the supermarkets to look for it. I didn't find any. So I told my fiancée, now my wife though.
Okay.
So well, let's just try and make it. You know, so we got to the market, got 15 naira coconut. We shredded it and with a small frying pan, we baked it. Although it didn't come out as nice as it is now, we ate it with joy, you know. And
you did it because you wanted to eat. It was just
Yes,
for personal
yeah.
something. Okay.
Yeah.
Then when did it now? How did it now move? Why did you now decide to start a business with it?
Well, I looked at my neighborhood. I was like, since I need coconut candy and I couldn't find it, then maybe there are people out there also around my neighborhood that needed it, and maybe it's difficult for them to get. You understand? So the next day we had to do it again. Again, this time it was better.
Okay.
And we're like, man, this thing's sweet too. Let's just move around and maybe sell to a nearby shop and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and see how it goes.
All
So
right.
the businessman me strolled in and we gave to a nearby school, actually, a primary school.
Okay.
Yeah, so before the end of the day, it sold out, just one day. So I was like, man, we have to look into this coconut thing again. Oh. You understand? So that's how it all began. You understand? The journey into the cocopreneurship.
Okay, no, so entrepreneurship, we know it's not something that anybody can get into. What were the skills that you picked along the way that helped you
as an entrepreneur to build your business?
Well, entrepreneurship is a journey, you understand? It's not based on maybe what you read in a book or what someone tells you. You know, it's a journey that you have to go into. And most time we try to gather a lot of money to get into entrepreneurship, but it's actually good you start small. Look around you. Look for what you have that you can use to produce what you want to produce.
There's something you just said now. It is good to start small. Why so?
Yeah,
why would you advise someone to start small?
I advise you start small because, like I said, it's a journey. You understand? So a journey, you take the first step. It's like you're climbing a mountain. You don't take a helicopter. You have to climb to gain that experience.
All right.
And also, most times when you walk on a high-rise building, you take the elevator. You know, entrepreneurship, you don't take the elevator, you take the staircase.
The staircase, it's like
because
staircase.
every step you take is important.
You
There's
get
a
to learn.
lesson to be learned in every step that you take. And when you learn those steps, you move on to the next level. And believe you me, when you start, let's say you start from the top, you might crash because you have no background knowledge or no understanding of the grassroots.
Okay, now let's talk about the peculiar challenges doing business in Nigeria. What are the challenges you personally had to go through in your business that are peculiar to just Nigeria?
Okay. One of the major challenges we had, especially after we've conquered our neighborhood, we wanted to go out, reach out to other neighborhoods.
Okay.
And some of them don't believe in what you have. They're like, what is this again? These guys have come again. Some of them, they even discourage you before you even present what you have.
Wow, so discouragement from people around you.
People around
that's quite a major one.
People that you try to reach out to, they even discourage, my guy, what you're doing is nonsense. You get just burn it. And sometimes you might be convinced that what you're doing is even nonsense. But there's that entrepreneurial spirit in you that says, let me just keep at it, let me keep going.
Okay.
You understand? And secondly, another challenge we have is logistics.
Yes, that's the one I want to talk about.
Transportation. In the coconut business, when you transport your products, your raw material, especially coconuts, you might have breakdowns of your vehicles. Your coconut might get spoiled.
Yeah.
All those are all on you. And at the end of the day, when it comes to pricing, when you put fixed price on your products, you understand, those challenges, they affect your cost.
Okay.
You understand? So those are basically the challenges that we face. And at the end of the day, when you increase price based on those spoilage that you get from your products, breakdown of vehicles, people might just withdraw. They say, no, the price is too much, we're not buying. So most of the time, you're forced to stick with your initial price. You get.
How do you now make money? How do you manage it?
That's when the entrepreneurship spirit comes in. You have to produce more. So at the end of the day, you get a turnover of everything that you have produced.
All right, then how about issues of, say, power? We know that that's something that is quite a problem in this. How have you been able to deal with that particular challenge?
Well, unfortunately, in Nigeria, that's something that we have to deal with as entrepreneurs. You know, you have to keep buying fuel, run your generator to produce all that you need to produce. And most times, we try to go manual.
Okay.
So that we can reduce overhead cost on power.
On power, all
yes.
right.
So we try our best to reduce usage on NEPA. Yes, and we have to run generator
and all that. All right. So moving forward, in looking at your journey, moving forward, what do you think? Well, what are the things that would make you would need or that you put in place that will make your your empire or your business move forward? What are the things that you'd expect maybe government or what do you expect to be in place for entrepreneurs to move them from where they are, maybe to go on large-scale productions? What do you think are the things that will be needed?
Well, first of all, if the government can give us a good road, number one, yes, and secondly, power. If those two things are in place, believe you me, most industries in Nigeria will thrive, especially in the area of power. That's all we need from the government.
All right, good.
Power.
Now, you have one product, just coconut, but you do a lot of things around it. Let's talk about the different products that come, how you're able to put out all these different products just from a coconut. What are the products that you do? How do you spread it out to these different products?
Well, that's why I say it's good to start small.
Okay.
When we started with just coconut crunches.
Okay.
Yes, we had no idea that other products were coming.
Okay.
But along the line, as we continued on our coconut crunches, our customers started demanding for more. Okay. They said, don't you guys do coconut oil? That we need your oil. Don't you do coconut flour? We need your flour because it's healthy. We said, okay, let's look into it. So we got into the coconut oil.
All right.
First of all, we were cooking it. You understand? Because there are various products, various ways you make the coconut oil.
All right.
So we stumbled into cooking it.
Okay.
And along the way, as we got in on our journey, you understand? We understood that there are various processes involved in the coconut oil. So we started doing healthy stuff without the flour, without the cooking.
All right.
So right now, the coconut oil that we do is cold pressed.
So what do you mean by cold pressed? There's no heat involved. What does the heat do to the coconut?
Well, what heat does to it is that it's not that it reduces the properties, but it makes it less effective.
It makes it less effective. So when it's cold pressed, you have almost everything, the nutrients from a natural coconut.
When it's cold pressed, you have all your organic properties intact, nothing missing. So everything is complete because there's no heat involved, there's no chemicals. Everything is naturally
Does it have an expiry date? How long can it stay?
That's interesting about coconut. It's very healthy and it has a very long shelf life. From the coconut oil to the coconut crunches to the coconut flour. We don't add any preservatives.
All right.
So they have a very long shelf life of up to about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, without preservatives.
Without preservatives.
So that's a good thing about
Okay, and then so we talk about the oil. How about the flour? How do you get the flour? The flour is also a byproduct of the coconut itself.
Yeah, the flour is a byproduct of the coconut meat itself.
Okay.
You understand? When you're done getting out the oil, when you're done getting out the milk, the byproduct is the chaff.
Okay.
So the chaff is now is what you now blend.
Okay.
You get to make the coconut flour.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. It was great having you. I know some of you out there have been inspired by his journey and all of that. And we need more entrepreneurs to grow our economy. We do. Thank you very much. But then we have something also healthy for you. We're also dealing healthy stuff here. Well, but let's head over to the kitchen. Let's see what healthy stuff Chef Tina and myself prepared, because it was not only Chef Tina. Don't mind any of them there. Don't mind. Let's go this way. Don't mind Mary and the rest. It was me and Chef Tina. Chef Tina, just show them what we prepared.
It's very healthy stuff. I can assure you of that. Today, we've had Chef Tina prepare breakfast for us. Chef Tina, tell us about this meal.
You know, I heard him talking and it was like, I mean, we're talking about healthy things now. We need to eat healthy. You know, I actually made spinach soup and tiger nut fufu. It's actually tiger nut blended, and that's what we came up with this.
So this is actually tiger nuts?
Tiger nuts.
Tiger nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Tiger nuts swallow.
Let's have you taste some of that.
Yes, please.
And while that is going on, we will begin to round off this Monday edition.
Why you didn't put it in that I spin that I turned? This thing that.
Those were the ingredients.
So that's what Chef Tina did.
Yes.
And everything she put together.
Thank you so much, Chef Tina. Well done.
Thank you.
Chef
Thank
Tina,
you.
You like it?
you're very special.
Thank you.
So what do you think?
Great. You like the kuli taste of the tiger nuts? Yeah, it has that kuli flavor kind of stuff.
To you,
It's kuli, sweet kuli.
Wow. All right then. All right.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So very good.
We have to wrap up though. We have to wrap up. A big shout out to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
Yeah, and Mr. Fola.
Yes, sir.
Thank you too.
Thank you,
Well
Paula.
done.
Thank you for plugging me. And Titi, yes, thank you for today.
Oh,
Titi saved my life.
Don't worry, I got you.
I was that farmer that went to the farm without any instruments.
All right, so we do have to go now.
What
And,
is this for?
Right. Mike, we'll have that discussion later.
No, like,
Have a nice day,
what is this for?
We'll use it to spank
Bye.
you.
What is this for? Seriously.
We have to go, y'all.
Is
Have
it
a
for
great
heat?
day.